Hello, dreamers. I am coming to you live from the Awakening Movement Studios, and I am here today to post my first video onto YouTube. I created this channel about like 3 years ago and had not posted anything. I was in the process of finishing up graduate school and getting through all of the hoops, right? And I'm done now, and I feel that now is the time to start creating some content. And I specifically am looking to create content centered around spiritual awakening, my own unique perspective to spiritual awakening, because each and every single one of us has our own journey that we go on, and each journey is unique. And I think it is so important for each and every single one of us individuals to share that journey of awakening, and because your experience and expressing your experience to others helps with others to kind of reflect and pull from your experience so that they might too have their own experience of awakening, or to continue to further their experience of awakening. So I'm here today to specifically talk about lucid dreaming. What is lucid dreaming, and why do I practice it? Well, since I was a young child, I had the ability to recall my dreams. I know that I was not quite lucid dreaming, at least from what I can remember, but I had great dream recall from a really young age. And with that dream recall, I was able to talk about my dreams with others. And I came from a family where, as a Palestinian woman on my Palestinian side, and as a Puerto Rican woman on my Puerto Rican side, that dreams and these sorts of things were regularly discussed. There's a very mystical culture around Palestinian people, or people of the Middle East in general, and even with the Islamic culture, you can find a lot of mysticism even embedded within that culture, just like most cultures, right? Most religions, there's always a little grain of mysticism that we hear, even when it's the most refined version of that particular culture. So that was something that we talked about. We talked about our dreams. We discussed the meanings of our dreams. My grandparents did. There was a lot of quote unquote superstitions, but just stories of the ethereal, things you could not see, were regularly discussed in my home. So this wasn't something so bizarre out there that I couldn't talk about it with my family members, thankfully. So fast forward into my future, I grow up and 2020 hits. And I'm in the midst of applying to graduate school, and the whole world comes to a halting stop, right? For all of us. And I think to myself, well, what is it that I want to connect to during this time? And my husband and I both were kind of going through the motions of, what is it that there's more to life than what we know and what we see, what we've been told. And there's this urge to open our eyes further and to see the beauty that is all around us more clearly and true without the distorted lens, right? So we started to work with meditation, and we started that off together, and then we would start reading different books from different mystics from different traditions around the world, and just taking in all this information. And YouTube was a great platform for that, as well as the Conscious Network, Gaia, wonderful platforms where all of this information that was so hidden is now available. And I immediately went to dreaming. And I told my husband, dreaming is, there's something more there, and I think it's important in my journey. So we go to a metaphysical bookshop, and I came across this particular book, Lucid Dreaming Made Easy. It's by Charlie Morley, and he is an amazing lucid dreaming teacher and practitioner. He has videos up. He has written this great book. He's written other books as well. I will put the link for this book down in the description. I think it was really the pivotal moment for me. So I discovered lucid dreaming. I read the book. I began the practices, and within about maybe a week or 2 weeks, I had my first lucid dream. But what is lucid dreaming, right? So I'm talking about lucid dreaming. What does that mean? Well, if you go to different people, they'll have different meanings. Lucid dreaming can be anything from being consciously aware in the dream state where you're like, I'm dreaming. And that's it. There's an awareness there. It can also be, for another person, where you become conscious the same way that you are consciously watching this video, and you start to interface with the dream. You may choose to fly. That seems to be a lot of the first things that we do, is try to fly, right? Like, how amazing to be weightless and just soar. And that is something that you could do in lucid dreaming. That's something I've done in my early lucid dreaming practices, experiences. But then you can also become consciously aware within the dream, and rather than interface or try to manipulate or quote unquote control the dreamscape, you decide to interact with it. Because what is the dream state? The dream state is your unconscious mind coming to life, and through symbolic images, creating a story for you. And each image can have 100 million different meanings to different people. One person could see a dog and see man's best friend and just loyalty and love, and somebody else can see a dog and see fear, and they could feel that fear, and they can feel unsafe around a dog. So each symbol can mean something different to each individual, depending on where you come from in the world, what's your ethnic background, what's your cultural background, and just personal everyday lived experiences. So dreams are this unique fingerprint, and it really is your unconscious opening up and showing you. So imagine if you can get into that state consciously and interface with your own dreaming mind, with your unconscious mind. And that is what lucid dreaming allows you to do. It allows you to directly interface with that unconscious mind, and it can be a really amazing source of healing. Transformation can take place through that. I've had transformative dreams where I have been able to stop nightmares that I've had my whole entire life. Just completely stopped for me in my mid-20s. And it's just amazing how powerful it is and how it can really be used as a way to move through trauma, to work on things, to work on creative projects. So many famous artists have went into the dream state and have become lucid or have awoken within the dream and have basically interfaced with their unconscious to receive images of their next greatest piece of art. And then they go on to create that piece of art in the waking reality, and it becomes a sensational work of art that the whole world knows. And there's many documented accounts of how lucid dreaming has helped people in that way. Now, lucid dreaming is not just some woo-woo stuff that hasn't been proven. There have been several groups of scientists who have worked on empirically validating lucid dreaming within a laboratory context, meaning that there has been research that has yielded that lucid dreaming, in fact, is a actual phenomena that takes place. It's not just something that I experience and I'm just talking about. It's something that's been scientifically measured. It's something that I believe every single one of us can do, but it comes down to our motivation and whether or not we're willing to put in the work. Because for some people, it comes a little more natural, and for some people, you have to work at it a little more. And that's okay. Lucid dreaming did not necessarily come naturally to me. Being able to recall my dreams did, but the lucid dreaming part, I had to use Charlie Morley's book to be able to actually engage in that practice. So just a few quick tips on how to lucid dream, and I will be making more videos down the line. And if you're interested in learning anything really specific, I would love to be able to make more content based off of what it is that people want. So just a quick guide. So how do you start lucid dreaming? Well, first things first, you have to be able to recall your dreams. And that comes with intention, right? So if you know that tomorrow is a very busy day and you're gonna wake up and you're gonna probably be in a rush or you're not gonna have time, it's probably not the best day to start. You might be able to wake up a little early. If you can do that, then go for it. But if it's something that's gonna cause extra stress in your life, don't do it. I mean, I don't think you should. If you want to, more power to you. But I think that the way that it comes most with ease for me is when I know I have a little more time in the morning. So I set the intention before I go to bed that I am going to have a dream and I'm going to recall my dream. Your intention is it's the most powerful thing you have, whether it be lucid dreaming or anything else. Every day, wake up with an intention for your day. So you go to bed with that intention to recall your dream. And even if the next morning, all you remember is a feeling, write it down. And specifically, write it down in a dream journal. A journal where you only write your dreams down in. I have so many of these. These are Peter Piper or Peter Popper journals, and they're super beautiful. I just love the detail, and you just go in and you just write down your dreams. And some days it's going to literally just be a feeling, and that's fine. You write down the feeling. I felt sad. I woke up feeling overwhelmed. Write that down. You are signaling to your unconscious mind that it is important. This is important to you, and that you want to be able to delve into your dreams and recall them, because so many people will say, oh, I'll never have any dreams. We all have dreams. Now, whether or not you remember them is dependent on several factors. It can be how important are dreams to you. In Western society, for the most part, dreams are just frivolous. They don't mean anything. They're just these random images that don't make any sense, and no one cares. At the same time, though, we know with lucid dreaming that over time, those images will eventually make sense to you. Initially, right off the bat, it's a bunch of random nonsense. But we're conditioned again to believe it's random nonsense and not to really pay much mind to it. Or you're very stressed out, right? When you're really, really stressed, at least I've experienced this as well, your ability to recall dreams decreases, because now we're thinking about all of these other things that are going on the outside of our world, and they're causing stress, and I need to focus on that because that is a threat in my immediate environment, fight, flight, or freeze, right, or fawn. And I need to put my attention outward. So when we wake up, boom, the dreams disappear out of our minds like sand in our hands, right, at the beach. So stress can be a factor. Cultural influence can be a factor. And then just importance, right? And that kind of goes back to the cultural influence. If it's not important to us, it's not going to matter. And if it doesn't matter, we're not going to recall. So you got to really focus on how are you viewing dreams? Do you believe that they are just complete nonsense and that they don't mean anything? Well, if that is your belief, then you're going to have a really hard time remembering your dreams, because they just, quite frankly, don't mean anything to you. They don't have value, they don't take priority. So making dreaming a priority, alleviating stress, is gonna be a really great way to start remembering your dreams, along with an intention, a strong, solid intention. And it might not work in a week, it might not work in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, but you never know, it might work in a month. For some people it'll work in a day, and they'll just remember their first dream. And you can write it down in the middle of the night if you're able to wake up and jot it down really quickly. Even if you jot down just bullets, you don't have to go into full detail, because the next morning when you do read it, it'll help refresh your memory and you can maybe write some more detail, or you can write the whole thing at night. It just depends on what time you have available to you. Other than that, another thing that you can do is wake up in the morning and write down your dreams. That's the way I like to do it personally. I do have a professional career by day, so waking up in the mornings is a little bit better for me, because then my sleep is a little more cohesive. I don't get to write down every single dream because of that, but I still get to have some of my dreams written down. And to me, something is better than nothing. So you've been journaling now. You've been able to recall. Dreams are coming to you. Next thing to do is to start looking back at your dreams and start to read through them. you will begin to see, and again, I got this from the Lucid Dreaming Beginner's Guide from Charlie Morley's book, and also from another book called Exploring the World of Lucid Dreaming by Stephen LaBerge. He is one of the main researchers behind lucid dreaming. You can look his research up. He has written this amazing book. It's a long one, but it has so many different ways to start your practice. Another great one. But back to what I was saying. You start to read your dreams, and then as you're reading your dreams, you'll start to pick up on a pattern. It may not be a super obvious pattern for some people, or it might be a super obvious pattern. Like you might have an elephant rolling around on one ball in the background of most of your dreams. And then that becomes what we call a dream sign, a dream sign. So dream signs are patterns that you find when you start to write down your dreams. When you log your dreams, you have the dream patterns. So when you notice these dream signs, you can start throughout the day doing what we call reality checks, where you can put your hands in front of you, flip your hands back and forth, and seriously ask yourself, am I dreaming? Like really ask that question with a full heart of curiosity and look around your surroundings and say, for example, is there an elephant rolling on a ball in here? And really look. And then stop and go about your day. You could do that for anywhere from 5 to 20 times a day if you remember to do it. And with time, eventually, that will generalize into the dream. So what you do throughout the day will come forth in your dreaming world. And that's how it happened to me, where I flipped my hands in a dream. And what's really great about then why we flip the hands is because typically when you have your hands in a certain way, or anything as a matter of fact from a dream, if you look at a bore of image and you turn your head and you look back, typically that image will not stay the same exact way when you look back again. The dreams are dynamic, they're constantly moving, they're not static. So because it's this constant flow of creativity coming in, it will change. And if you could pick up on those subtle changes or those dramatic changes, you have a really good opportunity of becoming aware or lucid in your dreams. So flipping your hands over, the first time I did it, I looked at the top of my hands and then I flipped my hands back. And when I looked back at the top of my hands became cartoon hands with long nails. It looked silly. It just looked silly. I was like, oh, I'm dreaming. Like that's not me. Or another one you could do is you could look around. This is the reality check that I was talking about. It's another kind of reality check. You could look around and say, am I dreaming? And pull your finger. And the reason you pull your finger is because in the waking reality, your finger is not going to stretch out or break off, right? Or crumble. I hope not. But in the dream reality, when you pull your finger, whoop, your finger can stretch out or break off or disintegrate. And that is another way to know that you're dreaming. Again, am I dreaming? Looking for the elephant, no elephant. And that becomes another way to check. There are different ways other than those specific ways to practice lucid dreaming, how to develop the skill of lucid dreaming. Those are the two easiest ways that I think. So it starts with an intention, journaling, reading your journal, finding the patterns in your dreams, the dream signs, and then starting the reality checks. That is the most basic way to start this process. And once you start and once you're able to do that, you may become lucid. And once you become lucid, that's when we can start working on other things. And that is kind of where I'll leave this video off. I will make another video about the ways that lucid dreaming can help to change your life and to transform trauma and help to grow you and grow your consciousness and almost develop a more of a closer relationship with your unconscious mind, or your super conscious mind, as some people like to call it. I think it's one of the most beautiful practices that I've ever engaged in. It is the most consistent practice I've ever engaged in. Have I fallen off? Absolutely. There have been times where I haven't journaled for months, but I'll just think about my dreams. But when I do write my dreams down, I do take that time. It feels so intimate. and it feels like I am developing a relationship with myself. And as I've grown in my life, I've realized how important that relationship is. It is the most important relationship that you have, is the relationship you have with yourself. Distraction free, just you and yourself. So that is my lucid dreaming. If you like the video, hit like. I would love to have more subscribers. If you are interested in my content, dreaming content about just different practices that I'll be posting, let me know. Comment if you have any questions about lucid dreaming, or if you want me to make any recommendations or certain videos that you would like to see me post. I am completely open, and I would love to share it with the world. I think it's important that we all find the courage in our own way to share with everyone. It's really important, because your story matters. Our stories matter, because at the end of the day, we are one. And if we can all be our unique expression of ourselves, the world will and is becoming a beautiful place. It is becoming a safer place. It is becoming a heaven on earth. So thank you so much. I appreciate you watching this video, and I will be back soon.